All right. Hello. Just getting the stream up in order. Making sure all my audio is good. All right. Sounds good on my phone. We're going to do pop-out chat. We're going to give people some time to get here. Let me go ahead and post the live link. Hope you guys are doing well. I don't know if anyone's here yet. We got some Wind Waker music today, in case anyone didn't recognize where the background music has been coming from. All right. Let's see. Get shareable link. I'm gonna post this on the Facebook group. Let's see. That's a little bit better. All right. Live question and answer stream. All right, that's up on Independent Drill. And thanks for all the help with tutorials. No problem. I really enjoy doing that. And I love the music too. Wind Waker was one of my favorite soundtracks. All the Zelda music is just phenomenal. All right. Yes, I am going to compete in WDC this year. I did skip out on 2019 due to... Here, let me go ahead and take these off since I know my audio is good. I skipped out on 2019, take a break. It's been 10 years consecutively where I did WDC. And I just wanted to be a spectator for a little bit. And then 2020 was just... it was video, and I don't know. It was a busy time of life, and... there's something about live shows that's way, way better, I feel. But I just decided it wasn't a good time for me to do it with everything going on, and didn't do it. But 2021, in person, May 1st, I'll be doing it. I'm starting the preparation now. So I'm pretty excited about that. How do you get over the nerves of doing a new trick, especially something dangerous? So for me, there's a build up to it. I need to be let's say triple OTH, right? That was a big hurdle for me for a long time. I would start by doing double OTHs. It's a build. So I would do over the head, 1.5s, double OTHs, 2.5s, and then triples. And more importantly, I would intentionally mess up my double OTHs, right? I would make sure that I was primed entirely for every possible situation that could go wrong. So I would throw a 2.5 until it was very steady, and then I would throw a 2 3/4, or maybe a 1 3/4 if I wasn't ready to do that. And obviously that kind of comes in and you have to turn your body with it. But when you warm up failure, you prime yourself for success, and you make sure you're drilling safely. And that's something when you do routine construction too, that's a really advanced thing that the top level drillers do. We prepare to fail on the floor by, okay, if this triple vert stop is going to be over rotated, it's going to land as a flat. And I need to catch it flat, and this is my transition out of it if I can't get that vert stop. Or a triple left left, if that over rotates, maybe I'll turn it into a vert stop or go flat to a knee. So there's like practicing failure not only makes succeeding at hard tricks better, but it makes your entire routines better. Hey Mark, I appreciate you reaching out and letting me know how much you liked your sling. For those of you who are just tuning in and still unaware of what the Drill Dojo is, which, you know, there's quite a few people, so I get it. Maybe you're just kind of trying to step back into drill. The Drill Dojo is kind of a good collection of, it kind of gives the trick library meaning, where it used to be just posting tricks and instructionals, but this allows you to perform tricks, certain specific trick set lists, in order to earn qualifications and slings. The registry, the proof that you have done a sling set list and passed at the acceptable level, totally free. I'll watch a video on a live stream. You get a score if you pass the minimum score, which is 80 plus points on every sling from here, except white and yellow, which are pass fail. You get added to the registry, totally free. You can purchase one if you want. You don't have to. But the slings are available in the slingshot, where you can show off your slings. But if you just want to participate and show off by showing your friends the registry, that's totally like something you can do. So it's super duper free. I'm trying to learn double OTH, but I'm scared to catch it. Do you have any tips? Yes, start with the 1.5. Start with just subtle rotations. Make sure you get your 1.5 OTH very clean. You want to make sure you're primed for every failure point. So that's going to be at the quarter, at the half, and at the full, all the way around. And then you just kind of go for it. I would say the couple of things for OTHs specifically that are going to help is if you notice in my videos, there's a white strip of tape around the center of the rifle. That's where the balance point is. And specifically for OTHs, when they're up in the air, they balance around the balance, or spin around the balance point. So when you're looking up at an OTH, the safest place for an OTH is right underneath it. If you try and run, you're looking to get hit by the sharpest, fastest spinning part of the rifle. So when you're throwing these, you want to stay directly underneath. And when you see it up in the air, you want to stay directly underneath wherever that white strip of tape is, if it's on your balance point. As long as your hands are up and you touch that balance point, if you need to bail, your OTH will get like swatted away. So that's something to practice too, is just making sure you're keeping track of that balance point and understanding that like you kind of can't run away from OTHs unless you've really like thrown it out. OTHs are definitely like catch or don't, but if you don't, it's going to hit you. So you just have to catch it. And the safest place is right underneath it. Is there a technique to throwing higher aerials? I can do triple at most, but I want to throw quads. But is it just a matter of strength, or am I missing something? Totally. I actually have a script primed and ready to go on that. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so there totally is. I was going to do a really long, in-depth instructional, and then time just got away from me. But essentially for aerials, I would say quints are a matter of strength. Quads are about the highest you can go on like average strength, like medium strength. So when you think about throwing an aerial, there are 3 points you need to like focus on. There is raising your hand up into the air, throwing it high. There's pushing down with your right hand to get speed. And then the last part, which is the hardest, is flicking your wrist faster. So you can actually add more momentum to the rifle as it spins by over rotating and over torquing your wrist faster than the rifle is already turning. And that's the secret to getting like 5, 6s, and 7s is really hitting that like over torque mechanic rather than anything else. But yeah, that's going to be an instructional. I've already got the script written for it, but it just takes a lot more time because it's going to encompass all the aerials and not just like one specific, like here's how to do a double. Am I black sling myself? No. I haven't qualified under my own system. Like technically I do all of the video overviews. But no, I don't like qualify myself on stream. I will say I've done enough throughout my history of doing tricks in order to like qualify. Specifically my 2016 routine probably has all of these in it, to qualify. But no, I've never done it all in one take. And that's coming. That's something I'll be doing a video overview that will be just like a qualification example of this. But I need to work back up to some of these tricks that I haven't done in a very long time. Like the Chupacabra, I haven't done that since like 2017. But I'm working through Blue Sling right now and just getting a clean take of every single trick. I get caught up here a lot. I'm not very good at Hell's Whip style moves. So yeah, I'll probably I did a take of this 2 days ago, and I got about here, actually the double J hook as well, and kept like messing it up. So that should be released. I'll get another couple of weeks. And then a black sling certification video should be released a month or two after that, after I brush up on like Chupacabra. I'd like to get the Zycotic down. I can do a backspin full rotations now. So I can do both of these still. I'll have to brush up on that. I can do that still. I can do the juke hook still, a triple skip. So really I just got to brush up on a couple of these in order to get that video. But doing it all in one take in one video is going to be the thing. I do think I want to make some like actual qualification videos and have the stream grade them. But I haven't really decided the best format for that. Yeah. All right. I am a smaller person and I can do a single and a half OTH, but I can't seem to get the double. Any tips? Kind of the same thing on regular aerials. There's like an over rotation effect, where, you know, first of all, like it's always nice to have like extra strength, because if you need to just muscle it down or muscle it away or muscle it to a stop, that's super duper like something that you need to be able to do. But other than that, there's still like an over torque mechanic for OTHs to help you get those rotations. With the toll booth, did you just do a half beat and throw it back? Yeah, technically, it's a half beat. The most important part of the toll booth, honestly, is that you're throwing it from the spine of the rifle, the upper handguard. So that's kind of the big secret of it. So it is a half beat, but that throw from this point of the rifle, right there, it's kind of a backwards aerial. And that's the big secret to the toll booth. I actually find it easier in a lot of respects than a lot of other tricks, but like for the same mechanic, like I'd rather do a toll booth than a Rising Sun crossplane exit. And I like the fact that it goes straight back into a regular Rising Sun C-set catch. So, yeah, you pretty much got the idea. It's a half beat thrown from the upper handguard crossplane into... and you don't have to do, for qualification, you don't have to do the flow catch. That's a particular style I picked up from the person I learned it from. You can just catch it at the flat, or over rotate it to the full, and that totally will get you qualified as long as it's sharp. So yeah, 2 o'clock. All right, so let's go over some of the Drill Dojo tricks and some of the why things were chosen the way they were chosen. So the White Sling curriculum. So port spin and single spin were obviously like, it's the most basic forward and most basic backspin. But I thought I wanted to make this system like approachable from someone who doesn't drill ordinarily. Like that's not what they do as like a hobby for their school. They don't do JRTC. They don't approach it from a military thing. But it still has some of those mechanics from martial arts, certain stances that you should know. So I added some of these regulation stances so that if someone's the first time they've ever approached this, they can understand how tricks should be approached. Like right shoulder arms, a lot of tricks happen from right shoulder, so it's important to know that. Present arms is really important for if you're doing competitions. And you'll notice in all of the video overviews and over in the notes at the bottom, I added that you don't have to, but like it's customary to begin and end your assessment with the present arms. And that's kind of built in as like a respect, like kind of matching how you bow before performing qualifications for belts in martial arts. And it's done for exactly the same reason in the military or in military style rifle flow exhibition drill. And I thought that was like a pretty neat mirror. But you won't be docked during a live stream if you don't present arms. It's kind of just an extra culture thing than anything else. So yeah, if you know 15 or 14 count manual of arms for my Navy people out there, you can totally just do that regulation sequence to satisfy all three of these. And then any one of these. So these tricks were chosen because when I teach people drill, these are my go-tos. And it's because this is a very like power trick. You have to have a lot of like strength behind it. This is a very flow trick. It requires, it's basically a setup for a C set. So it's really, really useful. The back and forth is used all the time. And then the waterfall is just a nice, cool, simple trick. And it kind of expresses what the pick 3 sections usually are, which is like one-offs that are kind of odd. And there's not a whole lot you can do with it, but it's good to know. So yeah, if anyone has any questions for the White Sling curriculum, let me know. I'll hang on this page for a moment. You'll also notice the submissions down here. You can submit just like you did last time. I still get your emails. This just helps. Whoops. I guess I just submitted that to myself blank. But this just helps. Yep, there's the email for it. This just helps make it very easy. I do prefer YouTube, so that way I can just look straight on the YouTube and see your qualification without any sort of like weird compression. But if you're in a pinch and you need to like just email it during the live stream or something, it's totally fine too. And then your email, so I can email you a confirmation. This is optional. You don't have to answer it. If you don't like answering, you just hit other. But I'm kind of interested to see what people of different like high school versus post high school or foreign are performing at. And so I kind of tailored the system around what level is kind of the new standard as we go and keep track of those kinds of things. And yeah, when you finish it all, you just youtube.com/nothing, just hit submit and it pops up. I get it. So I get an email just like that, pops up at the top, and I have it. So if you want to use suspicion things, I prefer it. I like it a lot. I think it's very clean. A little bit of grading stuff, and then the qualified registry list. So I'll go back to the comments for a minute. What is your most expensive rifle, and what is it? Right now, so I have 5 D-mills, which is more than I really need. I'll probably be selling a couple of them soon. So the most expensive one is probably, I've got a Smith Corona in my set, which is, I don't know. There's no real like, generally they're like $400 for a D-mill Smith Corona, maybe $450. But basically I got 5 D-mills. They're kind of like hard to get. So when they pop up, I like snatch it up and kind of sit on it. And then I'm like, oh, wow, I have 5 drill rifles and I only need 1. Well, 2, so 1 backup with like extra parts and stuff, but I don't know. It's hard getting rid of them. So Gozo hasn't participated yet. He's been very busy. If you follow him on Instagram, you'll know he does a lot of personal motivation stuff now, and he's just a great person for that. So he's doing like personal life coaching and all that. So if he stepped away from drill since he retired from winning in 2020. He's the current world champion, so that's pretty cool. I think he'll be back in at some point. Like, drill's a hard activity to just like drop forever. But yeah, he hasn't participated yet. Zyko is blue sling from the last curriculum, which was like notably harder. He submitted a video for black sling, and it was really, really close. But that curriculum was, and the feedback I heard was loud and clear. That curriculum was like ridiculous. Especially like being graded for perfection as well. So, it didn't go through, but he was the only one to be able to even attempt it. So that's pretty cool. If I remove my bolt from my rifle, is it still full weighted? So that's a good question. That depends. So at 7.5 pounds, if it's a demilitarized rifle, those tend to be heavier. Those tend to be in the 8.6. And if you take out the bolt, it tends to be 8.5. So there are kind of guidelines here. If it's a Sprazy or a Daisy or a Glendale or a Glenfield, those typically go under 7.5. I recommend, if you really want to know and if you really want to qualify, you can get a luggage scale on Amazon. Make sure it's digital. So with this, you just hook it onto your rifle after calibrating, and it'll give you like a pounds thing. So if you have a heavier setup for your Glenfield or whatever, maybe you put like a little bit of extra weight in the butt plate or something, you can always demonstrate this on stream. It's about $10, $7 here, $8. You can demonstrate that on, that's not a stream, but on your video before you like perform your thing. So that way, you know, as long as it meets that 7.5 pound weight requirement, it's good. There is one exception that's popped up to this, and they're going to be marked on the registry if and when they qualify. But foreign participants who don't have access to rifles that are this heavy are going to be allowed to use lighter weights. They'll still be added to the registry. They will be marked with an asterisk or some sort of like marking designation. And then at the bottom, it'll say, you know, I ask what weight their rifles are. But to no fault of their own, like they can't get this 7.5 pounds. It's not their standard. But I still want them to participate. So I had a couple people reach out from another country. And that's going to be an exception. Yeah, still working on facsimile quals. I want to make sure, because it's easy to believe that facsimile qualifications could be a perfect one-to-one match with like regular full-weighted rifles. But I know enough about facsimile drill to know that that's not true, and that's not respectful to the facsimile division. So I am working with a couple of prominent facsimile drillers, or will be, I should say, in order to construct a curriculum that is appropriate for them. So one of the things about the sling qualifications is that if you receive a score less than 3, the whole thing is messed up. And he did a stationary double full ninja instead of triple full ninja, which invalidated the trick, and that's what he didn't pass on. But it was an awesome qualification, and it was cool. This one should be a little more doable since it's like not hamstringing people into one specific style of drill. And if anyone has a trick they're like, this should be added, I would love to add more tricks to the black sling. So, all right, that's gonna be white sling. Let's move on to the yellow sling. So for the yellow sling, this is a new requirement as well. You can't jump slings anymore. You have to go in order. The last curriculum period was so that people can jump straight to a new level. This one you have to go in order, but you can submit a white sling certification, a yellow sling certification, an orange sling certification, etc., all in the same live stream, and I'll review them all. And I'll review them all in order. So you pass white sling, I'll watch your yellow sling. You pass yellow sling, I'll watch your orange sling. You pass that, I'll watch your red sling. If you don't pass that, then we'll hold on to your green sling and you can re-record your red sling and we can move on to there. But yeah, so in one day, you can go from white sling to black sling. You just have to have all your videos in order. Hey, Adam, I've seen you crank out TIC crossplanes like crazy. Any tips on mastering the move? Yes. So the thing with TIC crossplanes is that a lot of people don't realize the best way to pop it off is off your thumb. So I guess there's two things about it. The first thing is that it comes off your thumb. So in that sense, it's a lot different than any other trick you've ever done prior, because a lot of people want to just kind of muscle it up. And that's why it doesn't look like it has control. That's why it just kind of like falls up and falls down rather than intentionally spins. So you want to make sure that thumb is wrapped around the bolt. So when you pop it up and around, you can maintain control. And the second part is realizing that it's a fake crossplane. It only looks like a crossplane because of like where it's released. But technically, at the point of release, the rifle barrel is technically already in front of you. And from there, it's just a straight up toss. So it comes from behind you. By the time it's released, it's in front of you already. Technically. Sweet Touch should be an orange sling. So Sweet Touch has been like on and off some slings for a while. But there's it's kind of like the same thing as a thumb roll. It's a subtle move that changes how it looks, but it's like too subtle. I don't get like really high quality HD video from everybody. And sometimes those moves can be done so fast or good or subtly that I can't tell if it's that trick or if it's something slightly different. So a lot of stuff has been chosen because it's like very obvious or very applicable across the board. And Sweet Touch and Thumb Roll being one-off tricks, they would have a place down here, but they're just too like subtle, and all of these places are pretty filled up. TIC stands for the Illinois Crew. So the Illinois Crew is a really old project by Matt Wendling and Andres Ryan, and I mean, it may have even predated YouTube. That's crazy. And they made the trick, or at least coined it. I don't know exactly where it came from. Matt has a lot of understanding of like winter guard stuff, so they brought it over to the drill community. And yeah, looks like a lot of it just wasn't around. Oh, that's funny. A lot of it just wasn't around. Let's see. Let's see. World. This might be the last like Illinois crew thing in existence. For the orange sling, can I do the BTB flow catch out of a rising sun single exit? Yes. The Illinois crew. All right. Yes. So for orange sling, this was deliberately left open-ended. The important part is that it's a BTB flow catch. You can do it from a single exit. You can do it from a double exit or triple exit. You can go crazy with it. The only component I actually care about isn't the release, it's the catch. And the only component of the catch I care about is that one-handed flow catch. I'll be looking specifically for this hand pin. It needs to be pinned on your right hand. Your left hand needs to catch the rifle behind your back in a flow position, and then your feet have to move all the way around. But yes, the release doesn't matter. Hey, Adam, do you ever play the game of spin with any of your buddies? Yeah, I think most of the time we play drill, D-R-I-L-L, because it's 5 letters like horse. If that's what you're talking about, where like one person does a trick and then the next person has to match it. That's a really common. So if you go to nationals in Daytona, in the World Drill Championships, it's a really common game we play out behind the Hilton. There's a whole big area for that. And I miss that so much. I can't wait for it this year. I have been able to do single-hand continuous since right after I started doing exhibition, but since I've failed to grasp the two-hand continuum. How do I make sure I keep momentum to complete it? That's a good question. So let's take a look at the video real quick. So, single-hand continuous. So the two-hand continuum, you can take it slow and really follow along with the video if you wanted to. I think there's a couple of things that'll help you with this. The first is that once your hand makes contact, it never, ever, ever has to move again. Both of the hands are completely set forever for the entirety of the trick. They will never move. So everything else is just about how you move the rifle around your body, which is why it's so low on the sling tier list, is that while it kind of takes a lot of body control to get looking right, technically your hands never do anything. Hello, Singapore. What time is it there? It's got to be like midnight. So yeah, with the continuum, that's a really important thing to know. The next thing is just track how the barrel moves from around the body. The barrel is what crosses the plane every time. So the barrel leads to the back, it leads to the front. I take it back. It only leads to the back and front on that side, and then the butt leads to the back on this side. And this is just like putting it in front of and behind your head. If you just go wild with your hands just not moving on the rifle, you'll tend to get it. I would take it slow. I would take it inch by inch, really watch it. I'll probably make an instructional video that includes like a ridiculously super slow mode version of this, so you can follow along. Yeah, luckily Andres was able to redeem himself by securing one of the highest scores on the blue sling. And you were able to jump back then, so how many people are we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right now. So good luck with that. The thing about Andres, so I'm a trick driller. I love tricks. I love throwing them. Like, my execution always comes a little bit second, which is a bad habit of mine. And Andres always picks things that whose execution comes first. But I could, like, I don't know if I could go head to head with Andres on a drill game. He's a sleeper on his big tricks, and he's got them, and he's got the guts to pull off some crazy ones that you just don't do. And he can just knock it off first time. He's definitely a master of the craft. So I was supposed to go to Nationals in 2020, but Germany said I couldn't leave. Well, Nationals didn't really happen last year, so yeah. I was supposed to go to I think I was supposed to go somewhere in 20. I don't know. 2020's been. We don't talk about 2020. It's 2021. Let's go. Do you know if NGA is going to release a new batch of stocks? Yes, they will. No, I don't know when it's going to be. There's been some chatter that it's coming. But I'll know when you guys know. That's definitely out of my hands. But yes, like those stocks, those colored stocks are not done. There will be more coming. Yeah, I rewatched some of Andres' solo, and he's the most unorthodox creative drillers I've seen. Yeah, same. Like 100%. If you want, like, Andres is so good at. I can't heap enough praise on him. He's taught me so much about how to approach a drill pad, how to approach routine construction, how to approach, even just how to approach judges on a pad. I've watched him create routines that are segments, and he's like, well, the next segment depends on where the judges are standing. And it's like, that's how he constructs these routines, is like layers after layers. of construction, and he was the one who taught me so much about like you practice failing tricks if you want to succeed on the pad. So yeah, Andres is ridiculous and a huge influence to my drill and how I approach competition specifically. So yeah, yellow sling. The big difference in yellow sling is that I took out that double aerial. I wanted to push aerials up. I also moved all OTH stuff up a sling just to help people. I don't want people doing stuff that was very dangerous too early in their cycle. So in an early draft of this curriculum, I had single OTH spin down here. That got moved to orange sling, and everything kind of got pushed up from there. These are obviously your basic like left hand, right hand, two hand rising sun. So much is built off of that. This is going to be your basic right shoulder mechanic, your basic side toss. And then there's a lot. The half beat is really important to know because it turns the rifle upside down without stopping them and flipping it around. And so there's a lot of tricks that require that, and there's a lot of setup that requires that. There's a lot of aerials that you can do to make everything better. The half beat is one of the most important mechanics for competitive routine building. Any three of the following tricks, these are pretty much just the first ones I learned. Side Ninja, Hawaiian Punch, Downtown. This one technically wasn't invented till like 2012. I brought it to the drill pad back in my 2012 routine. But again, because your hands don't leave it, it's moved to the yellow sling. It's not a hard trick. It just takes some time to get down and look right. K aerial is another one of those like hard power tricks. There's not a lot you can do with it. It can turn into a C set, which can turn into flow, but it's so much more powerful from just the snappy power move. Big Hawaiian mechanic back when Hawaii was doing, that was the pinnacle of drill before they disbanded. The wrist breaker is just a cool little trick, and the Z plane is just a cool little trick that they fit. This was actually like the second trick I learned. I learned like single spin and then wrist breaker. So that's a little fun fact. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the kind words, Andrew and Jackson. Since this is the 2021 Q and answer stream for the dojo, do we have a possible date for February stream? Although January is yet to happen. You can kind of bank on the third weekend of a month, but I kind of want to do every 3 weeks instead of every 4. It's either going to be the 13th or the 20th. So I'm not 100% sure yet whether it's going to be the 13th or the 20th. I think I'm going to aim for the 13th and do every 3 weeks. That makes the most sense to me. So 13th, and then March 6th, March 27th, and then April 17th will be the last one before Worlds, and that way people can have their slings ready for Worlds and Nationals. And then I hope to do live qualifications in Worlds. So yeah, you can bank on every 3 weeks from here on out, unless something comes up, in which case I'll be communicative about that. So 13th, 6th, 27th, 17th. Yo, you used to speedrun Zelda? I love watching Zelda speedrunning videos on Twitch. That's my go-to background noise. I've been following one guy. His name is Jake ZSR. He does one Majora's Mask 100%. I'm really big into like speedrunning. I like watching it. I don't actually speedrun anything. But I always look for like any percent and 100% speedruns to just have on in the background. When did I start solo in high school? So I started drilling second semester freshman year. And I started soloing sophomore year. My first solo ever is actually on YouTube. I got third place in this weird nationals competition. Oh, we're gonna do no audio here. This is actually my first solo ever. back when no one even had like cell phone cameras. I don't even know how I got this footage. This is from 2006. So yeah, if you're interested in watching the whole thing, this is pretty much where I like how good I got in high school, and then like there was very little I learned after that. There wasn't a whole lot of places to get tricks from. Oh, I should probably log in and change that. So ISIS used to be the name of the World Drill Championships. It was the ISIS World Drill Championships. So if you ever see ISIS and drill together, it's a reference to the World Drill Championships. Back when Abdul was influential in drill, and this was before ISIS became terrorists. So that's fun. Yeah, so all the new drillers, there's all sorts of like old posts that pop up on my memories, like, oh man, I can't wait for ISIS, and it's like, oh, I hate this. So fun fact, it was the ISIS World Drill Championships. It also like there was a lot of things named ISIS before they became terrorists. It was a weird time. But anyways, anyone have any questions on yellow sling? By the way, I just want to express these submissions, they all come, like, they tell me what sling it's for, so it doesn't get lost up into any sort of email stream. It literally just pops up as like, oh, there's a yellow sling submission. Oh, Dragon Roost Island. So I am able to tell what sling you have submitted for. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab something to drink. All right. Do I miss my time in the Coast Guard? No, not really. I'm still technically in. I'm on terminal leave. It was a wonderful experience for what it was. I'm glad I did the 4 years. I'm really glad that I spent the time in the Coast Guard. It gave me a lot, and it's going to continue to give me. I'm going to get my master's in August. I'm going to try and get a master's. Well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to get a master's in secondary education with a specialty in social studies. So I want to be a high school social studies teacher. And yeah, Coast Guard's going to pay that whole way. So I'm very happy I did it. I'm also excited to move on with the rest of my life. How does Drill Dojo work? So Drill Dojo works like this. You're going to go to drilldojo.com up here. And you're going to start here at the white sling because you have to go in order. So you're going to look at the white sling. I'm actually going to fill these in later today. I got videos from Drill Team Dynamics on the basics of these. So you'll be able to click these links later on today. And performance. So the idea is that you set up your phone. You can lean it against a tree. You can buy a tripod. You can, however you want to do it. You can have someone else film. You're going to film yourself doing these top tricks. You'll have to do all of these. If you don't know what a trick is, you can click it. Almost everything has a GIF up top. If it doesn't, everything does absolutely have a trick library thing here. And so you can see what the mechanic is. You can kind of break it down piece by piece. This one shows 2 different styles. Both of them are acceptable. It goes up to super slow-mo, filmed at 240 frames per second. and you can see, you could break down the mechanic. A lot of them have instructionals attached too. Some of the weird ones, like people might have different names for waterfall. It doesn't have a GIF yet because it's a new recording, but you can see, you can go and look through. Okay, that's the waterfall. So you film yourself doing every one of the top tricks or positions, and then any one of the following tricks for white sling. All of the rest of them are going to be all the top ones, and then 3 of your choice from the bottom. When you have a video that you're happy with and you want to qualify with it, you're going to upload it to YouTube. And when you upload it to YouTube, you're going to get a link attached to it. And you're going to go back to the Drill Dojo White Sling curriculum page or whatever sling you're trying to qualify for. And you're going to submit this information along with a YouTube link. And then hit submit, and I get it. From there, I get an email over here on my Drill Dojo page. And I'm going to see, okay, new form entry, white sling. And I'm going to go here. And that was the first one I sent that was a blank. This is the next one. And then, like, okay, so, like, this is the one I just sent, right? It has my name. This name was what's going to be entered in the registry if I pass. It has my email. So when I get this, I'm going to review all the videos and make sure that they all work. I'm going to send an email back to this email address confirmation that I got it. That's going to take about a week. Getting to the week of the live stream, I'll be doing it day by day. Right now, I'm just going week by week. This is just extra. It's just so I can kind of tailor to know where people are at. And then I find your link, and we're going to open that. And it's just going to be here on this stream. But so then I find that, and I open it, and that's how I get your video. On the 23rd of January, and every 3 weeks after that, I'm going to go on live stream. So that way there's accountability. People know I'm not like, oh, just passing people for no reason. And people are going to be graded on their execution. White sling and yellow sling are pass and fail. The rest of them are based off of this scoring system that's listed here. You can read it. You don't have to. It's an accountability thing to make sure that there are standards. Once that live stream happens and I watch your video, I'll say, okay, you did everything. Congratulations, you passed, or you meet the minimum score. You will be added automatically to the registry for absolutely free. This costs absolutely nothing. You'll be added to the registry. You can show all your friends like, hey, I'm a white sling qualified. I'm yellow sling qualified. The exact same thing as martial arts belts. You perform different positions to a certain degree of excellency, and you receive a new belt. Well, this is the same thing, but slings. If you want to, after the fact, you can go to the sling store here. All certified slings come with everything you need to attach it, including the clasp here and the buckle here. These certified slings, you must qualify in order to purchase. Sure, you can like technically add it to your bag, purchase it, and give your money. If you're not, like, if you want to like get a blue sling, it's not for sale. Unless you're blue sling qualified. I'll refund your money or be like, hey, did you get your white sling? And we can communicate from there. But so if you're white sling qualified and you'd like a white sling, you would add this to bag. I need to update these pictures for sure. And then you'll be able to purchase a sling in order to put on your rifle and demonstrate to others that you're qualified. And I need to add a red sling. I'll do that after this stream. So red sling is going to be added here. These pictures are going to be updated. These are additional slings you could purchase. These are uncertified slings. Anyone can purchase them. I've got plenty on stock. Shipping is flat rate $5. So if you just buy one, it's $5. If you buy all of them, it's $5. That's just the easiest way to handle it. I do prefer the orange one. It's so nice, like when you're going out to drill. Hey man, I have a question. If we're qualified for a certain sling, can we pay money and have the sling shipped to us? Yes. Are you from Singapore? I'll still ship to Singapore. I would just we can discuss like this extra shipping costs. But Yes, so if you qualified for any of these slings, and if you qualified for green, blue, no one qualified for black last time, but if you're qualified in green and blue, you can purchase the red sling. You're automatically qualified from the last curriculum all the way down. So yes, totally. Is there a bladed trail? There's no bladed qualification yet. So I'm moving very, very slowly for adding new things. People are still kind of spreading the word, getting used to the system. So I'm trying to add new things slowly. I think in August, I'm going to add one more curriculum, probably for facsimile. And I might work something out for, let's see, there's a long one here. All right, so I might add a notation at some point for like, brackets like bladed. That's a possibility, but again, I'm moving very slow so people can get a grasp of how this works and how to go through it. What rifle replicas can we use for the videos? So I use a DML that tries 1903, which just isn't commercially available. Most schools are going to have the heavier weighted rifles that you can use. If you want one for practice at home, I do recommend the Glendale Drill America 1903 Springfield replica rifles. They're as low as $235. Shipping's typically around the $35 range. If money is tight and you still want to participate and have a drill rifle, the M1 is absolutely fine. It's still like a great rifle. It's a little bit tighter. It's a little bit thicker, which makes things a little bit harder, but it still meets the weight requirements. It's like 8.4, 8.5, 9 pound. So this is your budget option. And it's actually what I started in. If you go to watch my 2009 video, I'm using this exact rifle. This is what I grew up on, with drill, because my school used M1s. I was an Air Force school back when they used M1s, 10 years ago. That's Drill America. So totally acceptable here. 170, probably $200 after shipping. When you get down to here, these ones are going to be lightweight. These are facsimile. You can't use these to qualify yet. So stick with this top row here. My recommendation is going to be the 1903 Springfield replica. And black hardware is going to be perfectly fine. I'm an Air Force JRTC drill. How can I get better at doing my spins? Following the Drill Dojo curriculum and practicing. So one of my favorite things about the Drill Dojo is that it is an execution-based system. It's not just about the tricks, but how well you can perform them. Filming tricks has been the #1 way that I've gotten better at doing tricks. There's so much you kind of don't see until you watch it back on a video. So by videoing yourself doing these tricks, you'll be able to be like, oh, I make a face when I do a two-hand continuous spin. That's a very common thing. And you'll be able to see all those things. Additionally, one of the other benefits of participating in this program is that when you submit the video, it is on a live stream in real time, kind of broken down into its core components. And I'll be like, hey, you'll want to watch your hand pins, or you want to watch your facial composure. So you'll be able to receive feedback in real time during those streams from me, which, I don't know, I like to think I'm good at this. So it's a good way just getting feedback, because I'll see things right away that maybe you've missed even. So I encourage, there's only one team so far that does a whole team is doing this all at once. And I recommend getting yourself and your whole team qualified. I think realistically, teams can get qualified up to like double. In or to double to Orange Sling, and really succeed as a team. These are like most of the best teams would all get up to Orange Sling with like their better people moving up further. When you get to this point, it starts getting into like very, very solo stuff. If you can get a whole team to Orange Sling, you're doing really, really good. Yes, the 1-star videos are awesome. It's a great resource. And a lot of it builds on itself too. The back and forthy builds into the C set, which builds into the downtown, or a foot stop, or a Hawaiian punch. Moving just one by one up this chain. I've been trying to look for some HTML or CSS code that could have a checkbox next to these that would like save via cookies. But I haven't had any luck. I'll probably take this. I need to update it with all of the new tricks because I just did like 30 of them. So I need to take this and convert it to a Word document that you can download, and that'll have the checkboxes on it. And so you can actually keep track of your progress through all of the tricks. That's on the docket. Yo, Adam, have you ever heard of the Jefferson City Armed X Team? That certainly rings a bell. I'm pretty sure I've run into you guys at Nationals. But off the top of my head, I don't know if I've watched performances or none of them kind of like, I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of them anyways. But I'm pretty sure you guys go to Nationals, and I'm pretty sure we've interacted there. Has anyone else other than you done a Chupacabra? Not to my knowledge. Psycho did something very, very close to it in his Black Sling certification video. And I don't remember if it was a Chupacabra or not, technically. But I'm sure if Psycho put just a little bit of effort into it, he'd be able to do it. Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch the Yellow Sling video real quick. Hey drillers, in this video I'm going to show you how to earn your Yellow Sling certification. As a reminder, it's customary to please advance. Off the top of my head, I don't know either of those people. But I might have met them. I meet a lot of people when I go to Nationals, so I don't remember everybody. But yeah. Oh, one more thing I want to note about the Drill Dojo video thing. You can't edit videos. It has to be all in one take. So you can't just do that and then like shift video to the left-hand continuous. Which I'll be previewing videos before the live stream. So if I notice that there are weird edits, I'll let you know via email. But yeah, just one take, no edits. You can edit out like the moving back and forth. Like once it starts, once you perform the first trick, there has to be no edits. But like you can take out like setting the camera and walking out to the field, or walking back to the camera to turn it off. It's just once from start to finish, from first trick to last trick, no edits. Could do an instruction for a weird move. Rainwater, DJ Smith and Fuentes did it. It's like a downtown, but you don't catch it with the left and flow into a Floridian. I don't know. I've never done it. That sounds a lot like more of like a sequence. The kind of a trick, but I don't know if I've seen it off the top of my head, that specific trick. And I've got a lot of other instructionals in the backlog. But I would ask those people if they can do a little bit of an instructional for it, because I just don't know what it is right off the top of my head. Yep, so notice that the or stuff, you can only do one or the other. So if you did a side ninja Hawaiian punch and a downtown, it wouldn't qualify. If you did a side ninja Hawaiian punch, downtown, and continuum, I would just ignore the downtown like you never did it and move on to continuum. So make sure you understand like what the or is. Generally, the or comes between functions that are the same. Like a Hawaiian punch is pretty much the same motion as the downtown. It's just caught behind the head versus behind the back. So that's a personal preference thing that's generally built around tricks that accomplish the same thing. So the Z-plane frontal spin, that was stationary. You can also like spin around it. It's really cool when you do. For a lot of these videos, I wanted to do like, what is the bare minimum? You're no longer docked or disqualified for going above and beyond. So if it says to do a triple vert stop and you do a quad vert stop, that's totally fine. Or if it says to do a double aerial and do a triple aerial, or if it says to do a single BTB and you do a double BTB, that's no longer a penalization. It is now about kind of like specific motions, mechanics, stops, catches, and tricks itself than it is about how you enter it. So like that double kiwi in the last curriculum, some people got docked for doing triple kiwis. That's not a thing anymore. I realized like if they're accomplishing the same thing and it's just more, that shouldn't be a problem. So for the 21 curriculum, doing extra is not going to be docked as long as it doesn't dramatically alter the fundamentals of the trick. All right, so that's going to be your yellow sling. If anyone has any questions on yellow sling, let me know. DJ. That little grab there? Okay. Yeah, that's just doing a downtown without stopping it. And then doing a side toss from it. So it's downtown to side toss combo. Okay, so I have done that. That is... I use that setup for one of my favorite tricks. Yeah, right here. I love doing that trick. So yeah, it's just the downtown into a side toss. As long as you just don't stop it with your left hand and keep it close to your body, you can kind of swing it around to the other side. How did you condition your body to be able to do the septuple 2016 WDC? I can do a sextuple. I'm trying to get... All right, so what's funny with the septuple is that up until about April, so I started training for Worlds that year in like November, getting some of the specific tricks. Like the Chupacabra was like being workshopped in November. I didn't get it consistent until like February, March. And the same with the septuple. So what happened with the septuple is that I was originally only planning to go up to a 6. And at a certain point, you know, I was like practicing this routine. Like I knew what I wanted this routine to be, and I knew what it could be. And I was just throwing hours on it. Like every other day I was out for like 2 hours just working on this routine. And at a certain point, I realized I wasn't putting my full into a 6 anymore. That was like April timeframe. Because it used to take my entire body. And just by throwing the 6 so many times, it started becoming like more and more natural. And so I doubled down and I was like, well, how high can I go? And I started throwing 7s. And I was like, well, I threw maybe like 5 or 6 7s in total before Worlds. And I didn't throw it at all warming up. At all for like the entire weekend. I didn't want anyone to know that I was capable of 6 or 7. I kept it an entire secret for the entire time while I was there. And then busted it out at Worlds. And I think the funny part is because of how much I was drilling and practicing, I think I could have gone 7.5 or 8 if I wanted to, but I had never even attempted it before at the time on the pad. But anymore, I need to rebuild up to it. I gotta take a big break. Well, I took the big break from 2019 and am just working back into getting into conditioned shape for Worlds now. Hey Adam, do you know if Glendale puts Loctite on the rifles to keep the bolt and stock together? I don't know. They made, when I worked for them in 2015, they made a lot of like very small adjustments pretty consistently. I would say every batch had like one little tweak. So I don't know what they do anymore. They've had a lot of time in the last 5 years to make changes. And since I have a whole bunch of demilitarized that I've collected over the year. I don't use the Glendale rifles, even though I do recommend them because they're what's available and they're really good at what they do. A lot of schools have Daisy drill rifles as well. And those are kind of sometimes harder to find. But if you search it in Google, $250, it's the Daisy. Their stock tends to break though, which is why I don't like it. Glendale had stock problems, but they went away because they switched resins over to be what the resin is for the NGA stocks. So the Glendale stuff, those problems that they had 5 years ago aren't really a thing anymore. Whereas Daisy hasn't updated this in like ever. But if you want something that's like what your school uses, probably that's how you get it. Just you have to search it on Google until you find it. All right, let's go and move on to Orange Sling. And let's kind of switch the music. Let's go back to lo-fi. This is my favorite mix here. All right. So Orange Sling curriculum starts moving into aerial stuff. The Hell's Whip, you know, I debated putting it in down here, but it's common enough, and it's getting more and more common. There's a lot more that has that Z-plane grip. Heaven's whips are coming out, Satan whips and stuff. Like a lot of whip stuff is being experimented on. Just today, I saw Rainwater was doing double Hell's Whip varial under the leg catches. Like, yeah, whip stuff is absolutely kind of like an unexplored dirt path that's getting built over. So it was important to be in here. And then it's got baby's first OTH, first single spin. I need to make sure that says no looking. So yep, do it without looking. But it's just a little step into OTHs. Everyone's got to do their first OTH single spin. And it's always, always, always scary. And then you're finished with it and you're just like, oh, all right, that wasn't too bad. BTB flow catches, very important for all flow drill. So the kind of general, how this was built is I wanted, there's like very specific like sub things you can get good at in drill. And I wanted each sling to have like one thing from each category. So this is your basic aerial. This is a basic side toss aerial. This is a basic Z plane. This is a basic OTH. This is a basic BTB flow catch. This is a basic like weird power stop. And this is a basic flow trick, like flow transition. And so it's every sling has like a little bit from different styles. To help people figure out what they're good at, what they like, and also to encourage people to step out of what they're good at and what they're like so that they can get good across the board. And then the pick 3 is always just based more around difficulty. And I try and pick tricks that like the underarm crank. There's not an underarm crank BTB triple catch. Like there's nothing you can really do from it. It's a one-off. It's something you learn, and then maybe you do a double rising or double right shoulder toss into it or something, but maybe you flow out of it, but there's not really like any variance to it. So this kind of stuff, there's kind of one-offs, or they're like power stops. It's like, this is your period at the end of your statement, and that statement is whatever came before it. So that's how routines were constructed. Not routines, that's how these curriculums were constructed. Any tips on getting better at the Centino, and if you're wanting to start OTH spins? Let's see. So for the Centino, I just recommend doing it over grass and dropping a lot. Since it crosses from left to right, there's an opportunity there for you to overthrow it and just throw it away. And when you're practicing cross planes for the first time, that's what I recommend. Throwing it up, throwing it over, throwing it so it's way out of reach, and then forgetting about it. And then, once you're comfortable with the fact that it's going to go over your head, it's going to cross plane, and it's not going to hit you, you start bringing it not as far out. You start feeling how little you have to do to change its trajectory. So you'll go up, over, and a little bit less, and a little bit less, until suddenly it's in grass. So you go up, over, and then you'll like lunge for it, and you'll get it. I just kind of bring it closer and closer and closer until finally you don't have to move. And when you're at that finally you don't have to move stage, I recommend like picking a spot that's very easy to like. I had a when I was practicing a lot of Centinos, there was a manhole cover in my backyard that was elevated off the ground just a little bit. And I used to stand on that, and it was like, if I have to move, I'm going to fall off of this. And I would practice my Centinos on it to practice not having to move for it. So just once you're comfortable with where it's going to land, just practice not moving at all and then sharpening the catch. So in short, most of what I'm going to say for tips and tricks is to just move slow. Move at your own pace. For OTHs, I recommend looking at first and then stop looking at it. It's one of those that, for me, like my first OTH single spin, I actually remember it, and it's weird because it just like clicked one day and I just did it. I didn't try, I didn't think about it. I was just like, I wonder if I could just over my head. And I could, and I did. So that was my first OTH single spin. So there's just a certain point where you get comfortable, and that's when it just kind of like clicks and stuff starts falling into place after that. And then for the continuous stuff, you just got to do it every single day as a little warm-up exercise while looking. And then I recommend after that, do like 2 without looking, and then 3 without looking, and then 4, until you start understanding like what it takes to like do it without looking. So yeah, so excuse me. Footstops. My patrons recommended a version 4 that I added, which is the Hawaiian stop, and I had it set, but then I realized that it's just a variant of the 2-hand continuous one, because with the half beat. What I'm looking for on footstops is literally just for some variants of it to like leave your hands. So I just don't want this one, is really all it is. That like guiding into the foot kind of cheater way, I might even just delete it entirely and pretend it doesn't exist. Because it's not really a foot stop, it's like using your hand or whatever. I'm looking for some sort of brief leaving the hand followed by a foot stop. And if you have a different variant than that, if you're worried about the variant, you can always send a video to drilldojo@gmail.com, and I'll review it and tell you whether or not I'll allow it for video. I've had a couple of people do it about tricks already. All of them are like, yeah, you can do it. So yeah, I do recommend, if you have any questions of like, is this acceptable, just send it to me. And yeah, right hand drag. Right hand drag, my biggest tip for it is that it's footwork. Once you catch, you just let your wrist go limp and your feet do the rest. It's important for tricks like the Floridian, and it's important for flow in general. I had a trick combo in early drafts of this. I was calling it the double dragon, and it was left hand drag followed by right hand drag. And I actually use that to warm up my wrists every time I go drill. But I ultimately decided it was like too complicated and too complex for expectations, and that the left hand drag is just a single spin that gets pulled to the other side of your body, and that wasn't enough to warrant being part of like an or setup. All right. The shoulder roll from half beat. That is just an extension of the half beat that came from before. A lot of people transition to side toss with this. You don't have to. It's just the shoulder roll from half beat. Scorpion toss is a weird one-off. Underarm crank is a weird one-off. Double right shoulder toss. It's just an escalation of Statue of Liberty. But there's not a ton you can do off of right shoulder tosses. You can Statue of Liberty, or you can flow, or you can just dead stop, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't build into a whole lot more. Back ninjas are good exclamation points, or periods on the ends of like segments. And then head spin's just a weird trick. I really kind of want to push more people towards head spins. They're a little bit wild, like admittedly, but there are so few people that do it, and it's such a cool thing when it's done super well. So this is one of my personal little things. It almost feels like RNG, whether or not it's going to land right. Not going to lie. But there's a lot of things you can do to like improve your odds of success. And yeah, so the single head spin, it's going to feel backwards. You can go over rotating, which is fine. But you can notice from just kind of lay it there and go. You don't have to worry about hand pins on this. You don't have to worry too much. Try and keep your neck locked. I'm really bad at that, actually. So basically, rifle gets released with the barrel facing to the left of the body. Hands off. And it's got to go all the way for a full single, where the barrel is facing to the left of the body again. So that's what I'm looking for. I need to update the grading scoring system. If you do a half head spin, you'll get half points because it's half of what's required. So if you do less than a minimum required, the point penalty will be congruent with how many you missed. That's kind of the thing. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom for a second. If anyone has any questions on Orange Sling curriculum, type them in chat. While I'm gone, I'm going to turn on the Orange Sling curriculum video.
Hey drillers, in this video I'm going to show you how to earn your Orange Sling certification. Unlike the previous two sling categories, this section is graded using the Drill Dojo scoring system, so I encourage you to visit the official website to get an understanding as to what that entails. With that said, we can begin. As a reminder, it's customary to present arms before your assessment as a sign of respect. For qualification, this sling has two sections, a mandatory section and a pick 3 section. The mandatory section has 7 tricks and you must perform them all, starting with double aerial, double side toss, Hell's Whip, OTH single spin, also known as an over the head single spin, single behind the back flow catch or higher, foot stop version 2 or any version above that listed on the website, right hand drag, From here, we'll move on to the Pick 3 section. For this section, there are many tricks listed, but you only need to perform 3 of them for qualification. For the purposes of this video, I'll perform every trick listed. The first optional trick is the shoulder roll from half beat.
So I'm not familiar with Taiwanese moves. If you wanted to send me a couple of videos, and
Next is the scorpion toss.
yeah, if you just want to send me a couple of videos, we can talk about it. If you have some tricks that
Underarm crank.
just haven't been introduced to our country over here in America, I'm more than happy
Double right shoulder
to
toss.
partner up and host some of those videos over here. And you can include
Back ninja.
some branding with that. Are you the one that does a lot of the trick library videos? I follow a Taiwanese driller
Single
who
head.
does that on Instagram. And yeah,
At the end of your
I'd be more than
qualification video,
happy
you will perform a
to
total of 10 tricks.
add to the trick
7
library and
being
talk about some
tortless
of those
and
moves
3
being
being
added to the
optional.
dojo over time.
As a reminder, it's
Curriculum
customary
might be
to
rewritten in
assess
August,
please on
or
ours.
it might just stay
If
this
you
way.
have any questions on how
We'll
to
see
perform any
how
trick
it
mentioned,
goes from
you can
here
click the trick name
through
on the same
August.
page and watch the associated video. Thank you for watching, thank you for participating, and happy drilling.
Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much. So what Patreon is that you can sign up for Patreon down here at patreon.com/independentdrill. And essentially there's different like levels of support you can offer from $1 up to $100. And then there's certain things that I will do in return as like a thank you for being a patron. Some of those would be like a free certified sling or a free seasonal sling. I believe at the $10 level per month, you get a free seasonal sling every single season, every time a refresh happens. And then you get a free certified sling when you qualify upon request. That's one per lifetime. Some of the packages at the $20 per month, you basically get me as like a video coach, a virtual coach for drill. So if you're looking for that for nationals and worlds, that comes with a lot of tutorials. That comes with watch your videos whenever you go out and drill. You can send me some videos. If you're like, hey, I need tips on how to do X, Y, and Z trick, I'll actually go out and film something for you to do that. And I do squads for $50 and full teams, including high schools, for $100 a month. But what Patreon really is, because I'll do those things as thank yous for the Patreons, but it helps support me and my projects so I can buy equipment. So like this is on a MacBook Pro. One of the things that my patrons provided is an iPad so that I can use a second screen so they don't have to go back and forth on OBS on screen. So my iPad is automatically connected to the MacBook Pro, and that's something my Patreons are able to afford me. That makes the live streams better. I got another microphone so that way I can start doing casting. I want to move into casting live events and doing live streams at events on the channel. And there's a lot. They funded buying a sewing machine so I can even make the slings in the first place. Purchasing the badges that I can make the certified slings for. It's a really big help. So I'm just going to play this the one time. If you want to help support me on Patreon, patreon.com/independentdrill. It is a huge, huge help. And in return, I try and make it worth the money that is sent my way for assistance. So shout out to these people. I really appreciate your time and your money. That helps fund everything. I mean, it all goes back to drill. So thank you so much. So yeah, if there's no questions on orange sling, we can move on to red, the new sling. I'm really excited about it. Red slings are tight. Let me bring one out real quick. These things are cool. I'm a big fan. Red slings where it's at. I like the orange slings too a lot because they're very, very vibrant, but yeah. These guys. Definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, red sling is super, super cool. Red Sling curriculum is very, very close to the Orange Sling curriculum from last time. It's kind of the hardest tricks from the Orange Sling and the easiest tricks from the Green Sling kind of meshed into one. So you'll notice there's like the two aerials here that used to be like everything on the last curriculum where it was like an aerial, a vert stop, and a left left. Those were so close conceptually, but they are different. But they were close conceptually that I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So with this one, it introduces vert stops and left lefts and adds them to the arsenal of an individual who can throw triples already. And I think that's pretty cool part of the curriculum with that. It also adds like an execution element, like vert stops are very particular in general. But yeah, from there we move on to, so again, this is like a more powerful aerial and a more flow aerial. And you'll notice that that's kind of how it all gets built on this top section is like, it's different styles. You get your OTH. The next step from a single spin is your left hand continuous or right hand continuous. A lot of people were asking for this right hand continuous, and I'm not actually concerned with whether it's mirrored or not. So like I do my right hand continuouses like this, but like if you mirror it and go the other way, as long as it's a continuous over the head without looking, done with one hand, not too worried about it. From there we move on to first crossplanes. This is the first time a crossplane ends up on a curriculum, and you get your choice. You get your most basic back to front crossplane or your most basic side to side crossplane. And so that's kind of, you'll notice those ors happen between things that are conceptually similar. Double exit 3 times continuously. Those rising sun exits are pretty cool. And there's so much that can happen from them. They're a basic flow thing. They're a basic trick set thing. Definitely something that like needs to be learned. I use double exits as part of my warm-up too. I think they're a really important part of just moving. And my favorite part, and I want to point this out for people who are like working on it for the first time, but the double exit is the perfect place for focus on hand pins because it's just enough time to pin both hands before lifting your other one. So this is something I warm up with these exits specifically is speed of hand pin and making sure I can get both my hand pins. It gets the mind located around the waist so you can do those hand pins for other tricks. So if you're learning this trick for the first time, or maybe you already do it, that's something to consider adding it to your warm up so you can work on hand pins. All right, stationary full ninja. This is a hard one. And I debated whether or not it belonged up here or down here in the pick 3, because it's weird, right? I eventually decided that it belonged up top, and I'll tell you guys why. It's because there's a little secret thing about full ninjas that a lot of people miss. And do I do backwards facing one? Yes, I do. All right, here's the little secret about full ninjas that's crazy. And here's why it warranted being a necessary trick. If you look here, you'll notice my thumb wrapped around the back of that, the rifle. And the thing about full ninjas that's so helpful for all other tricks of this style is that the elevation from behind is built because this thumb is here, and when you raise the arm, the energy from the arm being raised is transferred directly to the thumb and directly from the thumb to the rifle to get that elevation. You can see the rest of my hand is off. My thumb is still on the rifle in order to get that elevation. and then you catch. So the reason it was added to the curriculum up top as a mandatory move is that it gets people thinking for the first time about using their thumb behind their head. Same thing with like TIC, where it's off the thumb, but you can succeed by like not using your thumb. The full ninja is off the thumb, but you can't succeed without it. That's why it warranted being a requirement to learn. And then we got the triple side toss, which is just a high aerial throw. Any questions on the top part? How do you catch the double Ike without destroying your hands? You just have to destroy your hands. There's especially, so I struggled a lot with behind the back power catches. And the real secret is just like after a certain point, your brain stops registering the pain when you do it, even when you're fresh. And that's the only thing I can think of, because I don't remember anything changing with my BTB power catches, but they don't hurt like they used to. And I don't know if my body just subtly developed a way to like pad it, or if my brain is just like, well, this is life now. So yeah, there's no secret. Maybe wear gloves. But at the end of the day, it's going to sting until it doesn't. But yep. So the bottom part is going to be weird tricks. The kiwi grab is going to be a weird flow. Ike catch is a weird catch. Good punctuation though on like a sequence. Palm spin, just a weird trick. There's not much you can actually do from it, but it's really, really fun. J hook's another weird trick. The only way it goes is like juke hook or double J hooks. Rising palm rolls are cool, but they don't really do anything. And then double under the leg catch is just on all the under leg catches are on the pick 3, because some people don't have the flexibility, and I actually don't like them in competition because it breaks T-form. A lot of people like them and get away with it, and judges like it and stuff, but I personally am not a fan of under leg catches for competitions. So that's why these ones got moved down here. Weird flow, weird power, weird trick, weird trick, weird trick, weird trick. Kiwi grabs without killing your hands. I struggled with kiwi grabs for a very, very, very long time. What ended up working for me is realizing that like I need to get the rifle very, very close to my body. And it's another one of those, like, you just keep doing it, and then one day it doesn't sting anymore. But that one specifically, I think my body figured out how to pad it. I catch and side toss BTB power stop, like a little less so. Kiwi grab, my body figured it out. I don't recommend gloves for the kiwi grab, but you just had to practice it a lot. And then your body kind of figures out the timing. And then when I throw them, I have to throw it like uncomfortably close to my shoulder. And that helped a lot getting it down. Any tips on J hooks? Nope. Just throw them. It's not a strength trick. It's just something you just got to do. It's a weird trick. It's common. But just make sure that butt goes over your shoulder, and yeah, just falls into your hand. There's no big secret. You're just going to put time into it. All right. I'm going to put on the red sling video, and And if you guys have any questions, please let me know.
Hey drillers, in this video I'm going to show you how you can earn your Red Sling certification. Qualification assessments for Red Sling.
Shout out to my patrons. Thanks so much.
Scoring system, which is available on the Drill Dojo.
Make sure you guys read the scoring system at least
As a
once just to
reminder,
understand how the live stream's going to go.
Before your assessment. For qualification, this sling is two
I really like the
sections,
present
the
arms because it
mandatory
shows the
section
sling,
and the pick
and if
three
you have
section.
like a certified sling, it'll show what
The
color you're
mandatory
on.
section is 7
I think that's
tricks,
a
and you must
really
perform them all,
neat
starting with
coincidence
triple
that
vert
present arms
stop,
is already built into our
double left
system
left,
like that.
over the head, left hand continuous for 5 rotations without looking, or over the head, right hand continuous for 5 rotations without looking. Remember, tricks with an or designation.
Fun fact, I'm
between them,
terrible
you
at
have to
right hand
perform one
continuous.
trick
It
or
took me
the
a lot
other,
of takes
but
to
you should
get
not be
there.
doing both. TIC crossplane, or Centino crossplane. Rising Sun double exit 3 times without stopping.
Check for those double hand pins. It's my favorite part of the trick.
Stationary full ninja. Triple side toss. From here, we'll move on to the pick 3 section. For this section, there are many tricks listed, but you only need to perform 3 of them for qualification. For the purposes of this video, however, I'll perform every trick listed, starting with Kiwi grab from double or higher, Ike catch from double side toss or higher,
This was also something I had to learn in like 2 days for the video. I don't do like catches very often,
palm spin,
or like at all. Yep, 3 rotations on the palm
J-hook.
spin's all it takes.
rising palm roll, double under the leg catch,
You can do a rattler roll for rising palm roll if you know what that is.
At the end of your qualification, you'll have performed a total of 10 tricks, 7 from the mandatory list and 3 from the optional list. As a reminder, it is customary to end your assessment with present arms. If you have any questions on how to perform any trick mentioned, you should click the trick name on the sling page and watch the associated videos. Thank you for watching, thank you for participating, and happy drilling.
Here's my trick list for reference. Shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. All right. Any questions on Red Sling? Or any questions in general? Oh, I forgot to turn off the lo-fi. I'm sorry about that. Right, we can move on to the green sling. We got your basic aerial. We got another aerial left, so flow. Up in the ante on the OTHs, up in the ante on cross planes. Doing something with those side tosses. So this is your first BTB power catch. It's like just a new mechanic for you to learn for this one. And then your BTB flow catch. Flow catches showed up earlier in like orange sling. This one's attached to a sequence now. You can notice they're getting more complicated. And then your varials. So I'm pretty flexible as long as you do an actual varial. It doesn't even have to be flying Hawaiian or triple aerial varial. I do recommend these two as the best starters though. So that's your aerial from a side toss and then your aerial is like standard with your body rotation in it. So we have 2 new mechanics here, and then upping the ante on everything else. And then the NE3 section, again, we've got that Z-plane stuff coming in hot. Scorpion tosses, you can pretty much only do more scorpion tosses or to Statue of Liberty. Dixie's a weird one. A lot of people didn't like that from the last curriculum. But yeah, I guess it's a difficult trick. It's a cross-plane BTB flow caught above the head, like full ninja style. So I get why that's difficult. It's not a lot of rotations, though. It's a lot less than people think. This is going to be your strength trick. Triple under the leg, just up in the ante on the under the legs. Tomahawks is a cool addition. I don't remember why I added it. It's like, oh, I don't have this, and then I needed to add it somewhere. But this one is a very interesting trick. Brand new. Not a lot of people do it. Not brand new exactly. There's a tutorial from Alejandro that's different than this. I definitely want this style, not the two-handed style. Because there's another tutorial that's older from, I want to say, Drill Team Dynamics. It's a lot like this. You don't have to do the flick, but that toss up from the upper hand guard with that double rotation caught spine side or higher is what counts. You can do into a Statue of Liberty from here. So it's got to be that Statue of Liberty type catch. Yeah. Or if you bring your hand under and flow it. If it goes higher than that, it's actually quite a difficult trick. Took me a long time on the sling video to get it from there because it's pretty nuanced, but it's a fun one. And then the Eclipse. So this one has a lot of extra options because not everyone has 2 rifles to learn an Eclipse from. So I didn't want people to like be kind of disadvantaged, so I added the double tomahawk as like an extra to help people who don't have 2 rifles so they can learn a different trick and have still a set of 6 with 1 rifle and then the extra, because the Eclipse is a staple of kind of upper level drill to an extent. Very fun trick too. Any questions on green sling stuff? Yeah, I went into the double tomahawk being like, oh, 1 take, easy peasy. And then it was not. I know exactly how you feel. It doesn't look very hard, and then yeah, it's a nightmare. All right, let me go ahead and turn this guy off so we can watch the green sling video.
In this video, I'm going to show you how you can earn your Green Sling certification.
Shout out to my patrons. You guys are the best. I love you.
For Green Slings are graded against the Drill Dojo scoring system, which is available on the Drill Dojo website. As a reminder, it's customary to present arms before your assessment. For qualification, this sling has 2 sections, a mandatory section and a pick 3 section. The mandatory section has 7 tricks, and you must perform them all, starting with quad aerial, triple left left, over the head double, death double or higher, double side toss behind the back power catch.
I struggled with this for so long.
Rising sun double exit behind the back flow catch. Flying Hawaiian. Or triple aerial varial. Remember, tricks with an or designation between them means
Almost lost balance there. I was like, no, I'm keeping going.
From here,
That'd be a minor for sure.
For this section, there are many tricks listed, but you only need to perform 3 of them for qualification. For the purposes of this video, however, I'll perform every trick listed, starting with Double Hell's
I'll be
Whip.
right back.
Or Double Heaven's Whip. Double Scorpion Toss. Dixie. Triple Right Shoulder Toss. Triple Under the Leg Catch. Double Tomahawk. Eclipse. At the end of your qualification, you'll have performed a total of 10 tricks, 7 from the mandatory list and 3 from the optional list. As a reminder, it is customary to end your assessment with present arms. If you have any questions on how to perform any trick mentioned, you should click the trick name on the sling page and watch the associated videos. Thank you for watching, thank you for participating, and happy drilling.
Shout out to my patrons, you're the best. All right. So when will I make independent drill t-shirts? Actually, hopefully soon. I've been looking into the Cricut machines. What I actually want to make is Drill Dojo t-shirts, and what's kind of in the plan and what I haven't really figured out yet, how I want to do it. But I want to do t-shirts that are like each color. So a white shirt, a yellow shirt, an orange shirt, red shirt, green, a blue, and a black shirt with the Drill Dojo logo on it. And I want to like certify them. I want to do like the same thing with the slings where you can only buy it if you are a certain like rank. But I haven't figured out where to put the patch or how I want to customize it. Stuff like that. So that's something I've been thinking about. If you have any suggestions or where you'd like to see that, or maybe there's like the tag in the back or on a sleeve or something, I'd be interested in doing that, but I haven't figured out the system yet. If I get a Cricut machine, I might do like names on the back, so that way when you buy the shirt, your name will be attached to it. Or I might just kind of scrap it and do like a black shirt and just uncertify them. Or keep them uncertified or something of that nature. I haven't quite figured it out, but I do want to make some Drill Dojo t-shirts. But it's in the pipeline. It's also expensive getting into it. 'Cause you got to buy all of the base shirts, and then it's going to be 7 different colors of shirts that I'll have to keep a back stock in, and so we'll see on that. Yeah, t-shirts are coming at some point. I might order them. I might make them. I need to do a lot more looking into it. Anybody have any questions so far? We'll go ahead and move on to the blue sling. So the blue sling, in my opinion, is the actual culmination of the basics. The black sling ups the ante in a weird way. So the blue sling is kind of like what I view as like the pinnacle of basic standard drill for high level. Like if you're going to succeed a lot at Worlds, I think these are the tricks you need to know. The black sling tricks, I mean, you look at this list, most of them don't end up on the drill floor. These are definitely things that are like more than what you need. And the black sling really represents just a mastery of drill. The blue sling represents the mastery of the basics it's a culmination of the basics. If you have these, you have everything you need to succeed. Period, point blank. No world's routine needs more than this to succeed. I guarantee it. But yeah, so we got our basic quint. Just this is where I think like strength comes into play. It's still technique driven, but you do need to have the strength to throw it 20 feet in the air. There's no getting around it at this point. You get your choice of one of these: quad vert stop or quad left left. If you can throw a quint, you can absolutely throw one of these. It's personal preference as to what you want. Personally, I think going for the quad left left is the best bet, because if you slightly over rotate it, you can turn it into a quad vert stop and salvage your run. But I'll notice if you're going for the left left and you have that hand pin, I'll notice the panic that you move to the vert stop. So you might suffer a minor for that if I'm like, oh, that's a panic. But that's definitely how I would approach that. Unless you just hate left lefts. It's a lot of impact on one hand. Rising Sun triple exit 3 times continuously. Triple exit's the highest you'll need. I really like triple exit power stops in front of the body as like a exclamation point. But this is a good control. If you can do Rising Sun triple exit 3 times, you have a total control of flow drill. We're talking that's basically 3 times in a row throwing a triple left left sort of deal, and doing something with it. So this is absolute flow mastery. OTH triple, all you need to succeed on the drill floor. OTH triple. Quads are above and beyond and a bit much. Triples are the standard of competitive ability, for sure. Flying Floridian is also kind of the highest standard of varial. Like I hesitate to call it like a basic varial, but it has become that. It's become like a standard move up from Flying Hawaiian. And we're moving into like mixing categories now, right? Because it's like Flying Floridian is a varial flow catch. TIC-BTP, another like mixed category. It is a cross plane behind the back. So these are kind of geared towards getting you thinking about there's a lot of different things that can be blended together to make new moves and new sequences. And that's what it's priming you for. And then our last mechanic, our final mechanic, is going to be back rolls. After you learn these back rolls, with everything else you've learned, there's virtually nothing else you need to know basic wise. You have the back rolls, you have the flow, you have the power, you have the weird tricks, you have cross planes, you have Z planes, you have above the head Z planes, you've got below the shoulder Z planes, you've got everything. This is the last new mechanic. And then any of the 3, you got the triple side toss, BTP power catch, your flow catch, another up in the ante on flow stuff, double J hook, triple Hell's Whip, triple Heaven's Whip, X plane exit toll booth, or double skip spin. This is a cool one, built right into the black sling. If anyone has any questions about this, let me know. I've got a video overview coming. I don't have any clean takes of it yet, so I'm still working to record that later. So yeah. It's cool. People are popping in and out to ask a question and move on, go out and drill. I think that's pretty awesome. Most people got their questions out early on, so. But this stream is going to be available later on, so if people want to access it at some point, I want to make sure it's thorough. So yeah, the black sling. If you have an invented trick, send a video of it to drilldojo@gmail.com. I'm going to upload it to YouTube. I'm going to share it with the independent drill site. the Facebook page, and people will vote on it if they believe it's a sequence, or actually, if they believe it's a sequence, they can challenge it. If they've seen it on a trick video thing, they can challenge it. So that's how you get the invented trick qualification. And then you get your pick of 8. So anyone have any questions? So there's still an open bounty if you guys are curious about doing that. If you can do 41 doubles in a minute, and if you can do all the video requirements found here, I give you a $10 Venmo, and you get free entry into the Rifle Flow World Records. Just got to do 41 doubles. All have to be left hand. Can't go back and forth with it. Bayonet setup possible for blue sling? I imagine so. Yeah, there's nothing here. Double J hook, nah, even that because the butt goes around her shoulder. There's nothing here that would prevent a bladed setup for this. In fact, this would be easier with a bladed. Yeah, this is absolutely possible bladed. There's nothing that you can't do. I think the only thing bladed really like prevents is going to be shoulder saw moves if you're not tall enough, or maybe some BTB flow catches if you're not super tall. Other than that, pretty much everything you can do without a bayonet, you can do with a bayonet. So last chance to get some questions in. I think we're going to close out the stream in just a minute here. If you think of something later, you can reach out to drilldojo@gmail.com. You can go up to the Facebook group on Independent Drill and reach out via that, and I'll be able to answer. I check it fairly regularly. You can leave a comment in any of the videos. I've been checking the comments of the video overviews recently. You can send a message. I have a drill account on Facebook called Adam Driller Jew. You can friend that. I accept every single friend request that comes my way from that. Then you can send me a message. You can join my Patreon, patreon.com/independentdrill. At the $1 price point thing, there's like direct message public page. Here we go. There's a direct message to me, and I answer every single one of them the moment they come in. So that's kind of at the $1 per month perk. I immediately answer. So yeah, check out my Patreon. Again, that money like really helps to support me and my projects. I have microphones, equipment, software setup, dual monitors. There's so much that goes into everything. There's the fees for running the website. There's the fees to Weebly. That is my website creator. It helps purchase things like artwork and logo design. There's just so much. It's rubber bands so I can hold the slings in place. I got a sling chest that holds the slings so I can keep them organized so I can ship them out immediately. Shipping supplies so I can keep my shipping costs low. There's so much. Not to mention just the time it takes to go out and film these and edit these. Each one of those video reviews took like 4 hours just to like upload, edit, get it all together. In addition to probably anywhere from like 1 to 3 hours of drill just consistently getting those videos. Not to mention driving to like where I've been drilling and everything. So there's so much that goes into it. And if you have the means and availability, I really appreciate the support I get through Patreon. I'm super happy it's working really well for you. I'm really excited about it. It's got me out to learn new things too. Over here on the green sling stuff, like that's a new trick I had to learn specifically for this. That's a new trick I had to learn specifically for this. That's a new trick I had to learn specifically for this. It's been helping me out too, so I'm really, really excited to see people approaching and engaging with it as they have done. That's even in red sling. That's a new trick that I had to do specific and learn specifically for this. Kiwi grabs, that's brand new. All of this I pretty much had. Yeah. This is a new trick. These two are both new tricks for me. That's a new trick for me. That's a new trick for me. Yeah, so it's been helpful for me too. I mean, I pride myself on the amount of tricks I can do, and I had to learn like 10 of them for this. Not to mention the fact that when I get my black sling stuff in order, I'll have to learn, I need to learn the zygotic. A couple of others. That's a brand new one that I did just for a trick library entry. So yeah, and I appreciate you joining the project, submitting videos and growing as fast as you have. That's pretty cool. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end stream here. I'll give it another like 2 or 3 minutes. There's only a couple people here, so. All right, guys. Well, I hope this helped. I know I got a lot of questions in the beginning. And if you have any questions, a bunch of ways to get in contact with me. Thanks for tuning in all the way to the end. Yeah. Next live stream is going to be on the 23rd. That's 2 weeks from now. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. Less than 13 days. I'm going to get your videos in order. I hope the submission stuff works. I'll send a confirmation. I'll be looking through some of those videos in the next couple of days. For ones that have already been submitted, letting people know that I got them all right. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I had a good time. Hope you guys enjoy your next drill session. Happy drilling.